a pyramid. And there are certain needs or things that people need that start at the very bottom of that pyramid. And as you go up to the very top of the pyramid, it is our hope that as human beings that we reach something called self-actualization. And so, as a child, as a teenager, if you don't get certain needs met, for example, if unfortunately you were raised by a parent who was neglectful of your physical needs, food and shelter, uh, medical attention, then you're going to feel abandoned in that particular area. So, understanding that we are multiplex individuals, and I certainly love that about us because, if I may add, the Bible tells us that we were made in the image of God. And
Amen.
because we were made in the image of God,
Mhm.
God Himself is a multi diverse being. God's just not one thing. God is many things and all things. And the beauty about God, though, is that God is all those things all at the same time. And to all of us sitting here on this panel, He can be one thing to me, one thing to Rachel, one thing to Tony, and so on and so on. So He is a multiverse being, and we were made in His image so that we have different sides and different parts to ourselves as well. Okay, Tony is just not an author, but Tony is a father. He's a brother. He's a speaker. He's a human being. He's a man. And so, if I would leave anything with us tonight, that we have to understand that God wants us to be whole. And I think that my sister Bobby could probably speak on that really good because that's her lane right there. But we are whole human beings. God wants us to be whole. So, in order for us to be whole and to get those cracks repaired, we have to start identifying what area of my life are there, where are the cracks? Where, first of all, are the cracks? Maybe you can't see the cracks because you've been living with them so long. So now you think what is abnormal has now become, but
Yes.
really it's abnormal. Because sometimes we can take things that are abnormal and we can start to make it normal because we don't want to confront our pain. Okay, we're not,
Yes.
but your family knows that there's some cracks. Your son, your daughter knows that there's some cracks. Your friend knows that there's some cracks. And sometimes we're afraid to let those people come in our lives and say, "Hey, sis, I've been seeing some things right there. But I hadn't said anything." And that's another thing, especially in our community, we gotta stop being afraid to talk about things. And so
Yeah.
this is why
That's right.
this is a good environment because now we are taking the steps and having the courage to go ahead and to talk about things. Because if you really want to heal, let me tell you something about really wanting to heal. When you really want to heal, you're going to go ahead on and disclose. You're going to do whatever it is to be a better person, to be a whole
Yes.
person. So
Yes.
give yourself permission to say, I
Mhm.
want to be a whole person, but there are areas of my life that has gone unattended. And sometimes it's not a mother or a father that has abandoned you. Sometimes we are abandoning ourselves.
Amen.
Yes.
We
Amen.
walked off on
Yes.
our own self. I would say to you tonight, walk back to yourself.
Yes.
Yourself is calling for you to come home. Walk
Yes.
back
Oh
to
my gosh.
yourself.
Yes.
Go home to you, not necessarily to somebody. You looking for somebody else to come home to you. Go home to you and to find you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow,
That's
That's
that was
what
good.
you wrote,
powerful.
Rose.
That was powerful. Thank
That
you,
is
Dr.
powerful.
Stevens. I hope you caught what she just said.
That's good.
Your goals are more
Yes.
than just boxes to check, they're seeds. And healing doesn't just show up in big milestones, it shows up in the quiet ones. So if your goal is peace, presence, or letting go, honor that. If your progress looks like resting more, forgiving slowly, or writing one honest journal entry, celebrate that. This is a journey of becoming, not performing. So hold tight onto the goals you've set. Revisit them often, and remember, you're allowed to change them as you grow. Remember, you're allowed to change them as you grow. because growth isn't
because
linear
growth isn't
and
linear.
healing doesn't
And
have a deadline. So let everything